So we're here on a Monday night to read. I feel like I'm not dressed appropriately, but it is very hot.
Oh, I'm freezing. I've got long sleeves on.
Your apartment can be cold. My house is not capable of being cold.
It can get somewhat cold.
In the winter, maybe.
Well, yeah. I'm adjusting.
Okay. New house, no decorations.
Too old.
You feel old? What did you say?
Nope.
New old house.
Because I can't figure out where to sit.
Oh.
I'm old. Older.
Yeah. There's no one watching.
I can't figure out where this stupid thing is. Nope, that's the wrong way. Okay. All right.
So what are you reading or doing tonight, Miss Allie?
I feel drunk.
You're drunk?
I am reading. I'm not drunk. Because I'm like trying to do this, I feel weird.
You're out of practice.
I'm reading a book called At the Existentialist Cafe. Let me see if I can. It's pretty good. It's about, it has been. What is it? So it's a philosophy book and kind of the history, but it was on one of the New York Times best lists, I think in like 2017. And the author she has an amazing voice, Sarah Bakewell. She's a philosophy major or had been, and fell in love with the existential philosophers like Sartre, Camus. Heidegger is a phenomenologist. Husserl. Those two are a little bit problematic because Heidegger got involved with the Nazis. And I don't know, she just writes in a way that it's taking a very esoteric concept and just like making it consumable for those of us who don't think like philosophers do, which is very like way out there. And I had always liked existentialists, and I don't know. It's just interesting because existentialism was created in a time like immediately after World War II, or in response to World War I and World War II. And there's just a lot of she makes the claim that it's one of the few philosophical movements that actually was inclusive. It didn't care. It wasn't about, I can't really like, it's like math. I get it when I read it, but I can't really say it out loud. It's one of the few philosophical movements that was like, you're gay? Great. You're trans? Great. You're not white? Great. It applied to everyone because it was about, it's kind of the, like we wouldn't have the phrase, the personal is political if this movement didn't exist, I don't think.
Okay.
So I don't know where that phrase was coined or when it was coined, but it has to do a lot with your personal experience separated out of any scientific fact, or epoche is what they call it. And it's French, it's probably pronounced wrong, but you describe what you are experiencing, and what you are experiencing, no matter what, is real. So I don't know. It's interesting. I'm probably explaining this terribly.
But you seem very, very interested, and I think that's what counts.
It's interesting. I'm enjoying it. It's a long nonfiction book, but I am it is interesting. And she doesn't, which I appreciate a lot, she does not skirt away from anything that is problematic about anyone. She's like, yeah, and here's why this person would, like, here's some issue. And we're going to talk about it. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. You know, she's also like, most of these people are dead. So, but she names it at the Existentialist Cafe. The tagline underneath is freedom, being, and apricot cocktails. And, well, it's the whole Sartre was introduced to existentialism and phenomenology over the idea of how do you describe the taste of an apricot cocktail. But she calls it at the Existentialist Cafe because she has this, she's picturing all these different philosophers sitting together at some kind of cafe, even though they all hated each other. Like, they never liked each other. They were enemies. They were frenemies. And I'm doing the thing again. But yeah, it's interesting. It's her take on existentialist philosophy. It's great.
Well, I am not sure what I'm going to do
right now.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to mine off my
computer keeps freezing.
So I'm reading several things right now, as always. But I think I might try to finish A Long Way Gone tonight. I have like half the book, so that's a big goal, but it'd be nice to just be done with it. I would actually count it for last week because I only finished one book last week. And then I started a book called The Unraveling, which is it's like an arc that I have from NetGalley. Mm-hmm. That actually comes out like in 2 weeks, so I feel like I owe it to try and read it soon. And then I like my to-do list for the day. I don't know. It's on Walkabout. Here it is. But like I did like a lot of things, but there's still just like a few that I want to knock out. Mm-hmm. So like I haven't played the piano today, and I just really wanted to start being regular about when I played. And I finished the arc from Africa, and I just like, you know, haven't written it down yet. So I did actually film review, but I discovered the saddest thing. I discovered that the last sort of vlog type video I did, I lost footage and I lost my end. So I guess tomorrow I have to like refilm an end like a month later, which is like so much longer. Whatever.
Yeah.
It happens, but I my computer's not big enough to do 2 videos at once. So there's just like a pile up. But yeah, so I think the first one I might just go play the piano instead of read, and then I'll probably just hunker down right here and read all night. But I was thinking, just listening to you, that maybe we like start gently and do like a 20-minute one, and we don't have any other comments now. So yeah, we could get going. We could start and then be back, you know, take another little break in 20 minutes. We're now competing with a much more popular streamer. So we might be, this happened to me in the middle of winter too, that somebody much more popular than I am picks the same night, and that's fine because, you know, sometimes I'll be in more than one sprint just so I can do more sprinting and less talking, or vice versa, like depending on how I feel. So yeah, I'm not offended, but just, you know, that might happen. So.
Okay.
All right, I'll start the timer.
Okay. You know I'm not in this for the popularity contest, so.
I'm not either, but I feel like there is an unfortunate thing where you're not even findable to your quirky, weird people unless you're popular enough. You know,
That's true.
like there's all
YouTube
these
and the
people who might
algorithm.
actually prefer to stream with us because we all read such different books and we all have really different opinions or whatever, but because
But they can't find you.
they can't find us. So that makes me sad, but I don't feel busted up or anything over it. All right.
Yeah.
Let me find the timer. I didn't get set up in advance this time.
That's
There we
okay.
go. And I'm going to take myself off camera since I'm going to be in another room.
Okay.
All right. See you later. And we're back. So we did have one comment from earlier. Hi, I have a meeting with 2 new friends at 7 p.m. I unfortunately forgot about this event, but hope to join right after it if it happens to still be going, which, you know, probably will. We've got nothing better to do tonight. How did you do?
I don't know because I'm on my Kindle.
Did you?
And I didn't look
at percent. You didn't look?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell because it's a long book. So I went from 26% to 27%. But I didn't look at like how many location, you know, their version of pages.
Yeah.
I finished a chapter.
Nice. That's a mark.
Yeah. Tobin, can I have my couch back, please?
I'm trying to relearn a song that I feel like I knew the song for like 20 years, and now I don't know it because I've been away from the piano. So, but it's different. I feel like the Nola, the ragtime piece that I know.
Would you stop it, Tobin? This is my spot, not yours. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway. So, yeah, I guess in a few minutes we could sprint again. Did you feel like you were focused?
It took me a little bit to focus, but Tobin. But I have my shoes out and I think they smell. They're my good shoes. They're my work shoes. Obviously I'm not focused now, but no, I was pretty well focused. I think if I had been at that level of focus the full 20 minutes, I would have gotten a lot farther.
But well, so it was good to like warm up to it.
Mm-hmm.
So should we do 30 next time?
I can do 30.
Okay.
I think 30. Yeah, I think 30 is good.
Okay.
Because I'll probably hit like 25 or 20 minutes of good focus in a 30-minute period.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, that's how my brain works.
Well, I feel like that's kind of why I like playing piano as much as I do. I think it's my most meditative action or activity, and specifically that I know instantly when I'm distracted because my fingers slip.
Yeah.
You know, versus like there are a lot of activities in life, reading included, that you could be like pretty far before you're like, oh, I'm not paying any attention to this. I'm in yesterday. I'm in 2 weeks from now. I'm in another book I read. But yeah, for me, I get that immediate feedback loop. Specifically with the piano, I don't really get it with the other instruments I fiddle with. That it's just like, oh, I'm not in this. Maybe it's because I know it well enough to be distracted. Maybe with everything else I play, I like have to be 100% focused or I'm not really doing anything. Anyway, it's like sleepy time for kitties. Yours seems wild, but these guys are just like lounging around.
Tobin's eating. I'm lounging.
I don't think they're used to the heat or the humidity. I don't think they remember that this was most of their lives. Climate.
They became city cats.
Yeah, although they also seem
environments.
But they do also seem much more relaxed in terms of like having more space and having more, you know, I do find little dead bugs they've enjoyed messing with. So
nice.
They're enjoying hunting well enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you ready to just jump into another one?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Kitty. Hi, bud. All right. I'll just start us off again.
Okay, doke.
Hello.
I got distracted. Ugh.
You got distracted during that sprint?
Yeah, people texting me.
Well, that'll happen if your phone is on.
So
I have that new experience of my phone being connected to my computer, so it can very much happen to me.
yeah. I also realized that I'm tired and maybe don't want to read the philosophy books. So I'm gonna switch to Parable of the Sower.
Which one of the things is that one in?
It's two. It's Parable of the Sower and Parable of the. Oh shit! Hold on.
Okay, so that's fine. That's not one of the ones I was doing.
No, it's not. It's not part of the exogenesis. It's a different.
And then there's the one I started this year is got like 5 or 6 books. Starts with Wild Seed, though not chronological.
Okay. A lot of Octavia Butler's stuff, FYI, is on Prime Reading.
Interesting.
So if you have Prime, it's free. Parable of the Talents is the second one. This one is a post-apocalyptic takes place in 2025, which is kind of eerie. But yeah, it's one of those like Margaret Atwood sort of like, damn it, Octavia Butler, like you're getting it right, and I don't know, like that's really awesome, but at the same time, like makes me incredibly worried. Like, what are we walking into? But it's Los Angeles. It kind of this post. She doesn't really talk about how they got there necessarily, but people are in these walled cities, and they sort of have to go back to this idea of like growing their own food, and it's not really like a farming. She does a better job of conceptualizing this idea of having to go back to working the land post technology. Like, so there's still, and so there's, you live in these walled cities to protect yourself. Her father is a Baptist preacher. She's a 14 or 15-year-old girl. She's a Black girl. And this is her diary, her childhood diary. And she has, in the future, we don't really know yet, but this is her beginning to create a new religion, still using the language of God, but the idea that God is change. It's not something you can, it's not about believing in it. It's more about if you accept God as this idea of this force and this thing that changes your life through no means of your own. You can't control it. It's sort of like figuring out how to roll with the punches. It's a very I like it. It's an interesting. It's also written because it takes place, because it is a 14 to 15-year-old girl, it's incredibly readable to most audiences. I think if she were to have written that now, it would automatically get stuck in a young adult genre, but it is not young adult.
That's just so common. Like, it has to be like creepy inappropriate and feature young characters to not get stuck in YA or youth literature.
Yeah.
Like not every book for adults has like graphic sex or abuse or curse words or whatever. But the minute you're writing about a child, if it doesn't have those things, it must be for children.
So, yeah. And this doesn't. Yeah. But it's such in-depth philosophical It's Octavia Butler grappling with philosophy and religion, which is just not to say that teenagers don't grapple with this shit too. They absolutely do, but her character is a little bit, she's pretty advanced for a 15-year-old. She's also got this it's perceived as a disability, but she has a extra sensory sort of thing where if she physically hurts someone, or I think it also includes like if she were to insult someone and they were to feel, depressed or hurt by it, she feels that pain for herself. Physically, like if she were to hit someone, punch someone in the face, her own nose might bleed, and the pain would result. So there's some interesting stuff that goes on.
Cool.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think the goal for most of us should be to one day finish the entire Octavia Butler canon, but why not stretch it out? She's not writing anything new.
I know, but that's a lot. Yeah. It's not doable. It's just a lot.
Yeah, just take your time with it. And then there's things like, I think some people in my family are reading some Ursula Le Guin, some of the Danish cycle, and I could have sworn I read the whole thing, and then I'm listening to them, and I'm like, is that what happens in that book? I don't remember that. I don't think you're right about that. What? So then you have to like go and reread things in your lifetime because you don't remember it anymore.
She had written a book recently that had to do with one of the Greek, like a seminal, one of your Greek classics or whatever.
Did she write Circe? I'd read it.
No. It's not Circe. Oh shoot, what is it? But I saw it and I tried to read Circe and didn't care for it. But what was it?
I'm not opposed to reading things that are popular. I just sometimes can't understand why they're popular.
This isn't a popular book. It was written by Ursula Le Guin, and I wanted to read it because it was something she'd done that was much, much newer. I think it was one of the last books she wrote. But damn.
I don't know exactly what.
That's okay. I'm looking it up.
I jumped into A Long Way Gone and I read, I don't know, like 10-ish pages.
What did you tell me about A Long Way Gone?
I don't know. I guess I'm reluctant to because the subtitle is Memoirs of a Boy Soldier. And it's
I've seen that book around.
It's on some like high school reading lists from time to time. It's younger than I think it is. It's actually from 2007. And, Ishmael Bey is, become somebody who's like a voice in certain kinds of human rights circles. That's about as vague as a thing can be, but it's what my brain is capable of producing. But yeah, it is, it's a story about how someone becomes a soldier in a African war zone, and I'm reading it because I have it already, but it in some ways really doesn't fit I mean, it does. I wasn't super specific with the scope of the African Author Challenge, but in some ways it doesn't fit for me because it's fulfilling a certain kind of stereotype. You know, I mean, if anyone else were to take on the African Author Challenge, I think it's challenging enough just to find enough books. I think if someone wanted to simply read 54 books from Africa and not worry about hitting every country, that's a challenge. I've discovered that on itself is a challenge. Yeah. And so I don't hold it against anybody if they want to read things that to me are like not challenging. Like Chinua Achebe is not on my list. I've read Chinua Achebe. I've stumbled across that, Literally any author I've already heard of isn't on my list with one exception. Bessie Heads might cheat to that rule just because I want to read more by her. But yeah, I think that reading the stereotypes of Africa is also sort of a violation of the spirit of the thing. But I've had this book hard copy for many, many, many years, and it just, at some point you just got to read the books you own and pass them along, so. Yep. But it's also
to say, like, I read this book and here's why, it didn't do it for me, because I feel like that there's also that argument too. Well, which we've talked about before, of reading the books that everybody reads just to say, I did it, and here's why it's not for me.
And also, like, it's not bad literature. It's very fast. I can see why it's on high school reading lists, because it's really fast, and it's not, kids actually really, younger people really tend to like brutality. That's why why adventures were like half the country gets killed. It's a thing.
Yeah. But I would love to see schools go to that place of, like, the book you told me about, the E-ARC book that you were reading. Mm-hmm. You're like, this is like, sex education. It's funny.
Yeah, it's not.
I know that it's not appropriate. That a lot of people will be like, a lot of school districts. But there are other books that.
Oh yeah.
But I think
that would be more like teaching Nnedi Okorafor in the classroom would make more sense. But this book is maybe by college, but I don't know. As a total prude, I didn't really appreciate having to read graphic sex in any class ever. Mm-hmm. So I don't really think this is a classroom book unless you're talking about a graduate program, maybe. But yeah, like I'm not having a hard time reading A Long Way Gone. It's also the second one this year that's hitting that like child soldier thing. And like, there are so many countries where that could be the book. And I guess I just feel like it's also another way in which the West, I don't know, casts a sort of like, we only care when it's a war zone. Not that we shouldn't care about the war zone. We should care about the war zone, but we shouldn't only care about the war zone. Yeah. So I mean, I definitely will get.
It's kind of like someone from another country looking at the U.S. and being like, I only care about, their only perspective or the only stuff they're consuming is the heroin epidemic, or it's only it's an important part, but it's one facet of a very, very rich group of different things happening.
Yeah. So anyway, we have some comments and they land on one that I don't entirely understand, but we have David is back. So I was asking people to introduce themselves, but it seems like it's all our regulars. So everybody knows everybody. So David is back. I'm pretty sure David's still reading My Grandmother's Hands, but maybe they'll tell us they're reading something else. Jess says, hi, kitty cat. I believe that was directed at Tobin.
Yeah, that's my choice.
Jess is reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, because if I remember correctly, Jess, you're working on the whole series as a reread. I think that's what's happening. And then David says a few excerpts, and that's where I'm not sure. Are you talking about the arc? Are you talking about A Long Way Gone? Or are you wish to share your own book. I don't know exactly what that comment means.
That makes me just doing the reread of Harry Potter makes me want to restart the Carry On series because apparently there's a third one.
I know. I think I will do that when I can. And I saw that maybe there's somebody I know who I could borrow some from. So
I have 2 out of the 3.
I saw them. But yeah. But Wayward Son is the middle one, and I don't remember the name of the last one.
Oh, it's another song lyric, and it's escaping my memory.
But you know, I think I think
it's Anyway the Wind Blows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds familiar. I think they would probably be like pretty good winter slump books, you know, like right up in like Thanksgiving or December, where you're like, I have this much attention and I really want to read. What is it? I think, you know, Rainbow Roll would probably be it. I was thinking again today about, I finished Black Sun, which I don't know if anybody's heard of, but I really wanted to read it last year. I wanted to read it so much. I was so excited for it. And I finished it today and I was like, nah. And it's just like, that's my fault. I just like shouldn't have started it. I wasn't really into that genre right now. So
what is it again?
It's a YA, you know, battle adventure that takes place in a very indigenous landscape. And it's written by an indigenous person. Reread the first 4 books so I can finish the series. So the last 3, there's 7, will be fresh read for you. I think we're assuming there's 7 because we're out of touch.
Yeah, that's why I need to do the reread of Carry On. I never finished Wayward Son. I just dropped, and now I have to restart Wayward Son, and now I feel like I should read Carry On, and yeah. It's
so as I finished Black Sun, which again, like for the genre, I think it's tip top, and everybody should put it on their list. But like, I just didn't care about, you know, a magic adventure. I guess I got my head a little bit too into, you know, the Africa Project and different kinds of challenges I put for myself. And just, I am kind of in a slump. I'm kind of trying to find all kinds of regular behavior, all kinds of patterns in life and all of that. So anyway, I was thinking about Rin Chupeco and the Bone Witch series. And I was like, you know, I've read that twice now. I read the first 2 twice and the third one once. And I'm like, I could probably read it a third one yet. Yeah, I could probably read it a 3rd or a 4th time and still be a little confused. And like, that's probably my Sarah J. Maas. You know, Rin Chupeco is my Sarah J. Maas. I'll just reread it forever.
She has. Okay, you were right. There are 7. Rin Chupeco has a new series.
I'm sure everything, but it, you know, there's also that Maggie Stiefvater thing of like, I was so in love with the Raven Boys that I'll read anything Maggie Stiefvater writes, you know, until it. Hopefully, she never does anything that gets her canceled. But
is that it? Black Sun.
Yeah, that's it.
Rebecca,
and it's on Overdrive. There's probably a long hold for it on audio, but it's on Overdrive. You could hold and wait. Or maybe there's not. Maybe that's why I picked it out. I was like, ooh, it's actually available. Hi, doing better. I'm reading the Book of Mormon. Interesting choice. Tell us why. I'm very curious. I want to know. But yeah, like I read The Girl from the Well. There's a few, like The Never Tilting World is on my TBR from Rin Chupeco, but I still feel like the one I'll just continue to be in love with the most is going to be the Bone Witch series.
The one that struck me was that I want to give a try is Wicked as You Wish, which is a new series for her.
Yeah, I want to read that too. But not right now. You know, like
I'm not into magical stuff right now either.
I do really feel like it's kind of more of a like an answer to a kind of angst for me. I'm not really trying to put that on the genre or its audience, but for me, it's like, I am sad. How do I fight the sad with other people fighting the demons of the world? And when I'm sort of more, I don't know, put together, I want more homeworky, education-y books. So.
Yeah. I also like it more when I want to escape, like an escapist sort of like, I want to get sucked into a universe that is not mine, not necessarily from an angsty place. Sometimes it's really just because I'm in a show hole.
Yeah, see, and I'm not even there. Like, you know, I've been watching, like, you know, reruns, I'm not proud to say, on the internet. And I'm not even like, I don't even need to watch the next episode. I've been watching reruns of films that I really don't care about, that like I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be like, what did I even fall asleep watching? I don't remember anymore. Like, it mattered so little to me. I don't remember hitting play. But anyway, I covered my clock with a sticky, so I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I could probably get it from, we've been talking for at least 10 minutes. So let's see, let's ask the group how long we want to do the next sprint, and then we'll start again pretty soon. Because, you know, we're here for sprinting, not talking. There was somebody in a sprint I was in recently, I think it was like 2 Tuesdays ago, who was hassling the host because she was talking too much. It's like, it's a reading sprint, not a talking sprint. It's like, okay, maybe you're new at this. I feel like some of the ones I've watched just evolve into mostly actually being a reality program watching people talk to each other. How long do you want?
That has been known to happen with us, but not tonight.
Well, but usually I'm usually pretty on the clock, and I will keep it to 10 to 15 minutes because
you're a good timekeeper.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think for my ones that I was doing it solo, I wrote a very specific schedule because without a lot of commenters, like there are people who have, you know, even with 10 people in the group, there's a lot of comments to read. There's a lot of interaction, but with under 10, with the size we have and the delay, it's not that our audience, it's not that our community doesn't care as much as 10 people would, but with the delay, it's very quiet if all you're doing is reading comments. So I did a lot of homework, and I was like, how do I talk for 15 minutes straight to give people the break that they came here for? You know, and then the baking helped, you know, when I had an activity going on, that helped a little bit, but no kitchen till July, so that's not happening.
You're camping indoors.
I kind of figured out how to do that right, though. I've had like 2 days now of eating like regularly spaced, healthy, balanced meals that aren't going to rot in my cooler. So I found a loaf of bread I can eat, and I'm like, I'm going to eat PB&J for a month. And if I have to go get ice every couple of days, then, you know, I get like a couple of days worth of yogurt, not a week's worth, you know. Like a little bit of fresh fruit, not a lot of bit of fresh fruit. So, yeah. And then the rice cooker, I finally bothered with the rice cooker. It was good. I put peanuts in it too. Like I was struggling with the protein so much. Like, how do you cook protein? I was like, you don't. And I was going to do beans. I was like, I have no idea where my can opener is. Can't do beans. So
has to get the kind that you can like.
Well, today I bought a new cheap can opener, but last night I was just like, you know, you can throw peanuts in this. That's a thing. People cook peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, I think that we should do another 30, and I reserve the right to extend it 10 minutes if I'm in a really important spot in my book.
Okay.
All right. I can stop. So I turned my wow. Oh. I turned my light off because I noticed a termite in the house, and I thought
it is that time of the year.
Yeah, but they weren't. It was just like a stray. So I was able to. But because it was dark, I switched to this book, The Unraveling. I can't remember the author. And let me just say, you're just along for the ride. I don't really have any idea what's going on. But I feel like I have so many questions. Benjamin Rosenbaum is the author. And they're using Zir and them pronouns. So I'm like, cool, it's all non-gendered space, but it feels like they are gendered into a binary. They're just not. It's very confusing. So I don't know if it's like more to be revealed, or if it's an appropriation of those terms, or if like I had ever read real queer history academia, I would understand what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's kind of fun to be like in a complete and total puzzle and have no idea what I'm dealing with. So we had some comments that I think didn't show up on our end until after we had started reading. There are more messages you're not getting to. Maybe the lag is longer from a different location. I think that's possible. I think that the internet I have now, the internet provider I have, isn't as good as who I had in Chicago. And so I think, maybe after another week, we'll have a better idea.
Yeah. Do you have Cox?
I have Cox, and I have like the lowest plan.
Yeah.
I'm exploring interfaith practice. It helped me to call the Church of Christ this morning to talk, and then we just met, and I was gifted a copy of the book. Okay, so you're reading the Book of Mormon because it was a present today. That's kind of pretty cool, actually. So, and then a good friend from college had a Mormon background. So, yeah, that sounds really cool. And then Jess said, I read 7 pages. I got from page 29 to 36. How about you, Allie?
I got pretty far. I don't know how many, I don't remember where I started exactly, but I got through, it's written like a diary. So I got through like 3 or 4 of her journal entries, which they're shorter than chapters, but.
Well, I mean, I've read books where like each chapter is only about a page. A chapter is what a chapter is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only read maybe like a page of of the other of the Ishmael Bay, and before I switched.
Yeah.
This book is so strange. So they also just like the author just dives you right in. There's
Is it science fiction?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like it's in a future, because the moment I just got to, so the first chapter seemed like it was centering around like, I don't know, like preschool graduation or something, a big event for the baby. The baby's name is Fifth. And they have buku parents, and I'm not even sure how many. I lost track of the names of the parents, but they have gendered names. Their father this or mother. They only have one mother, but they have all these fathers. But then when they described their like how you become one or the other, it was like like a choice. Like they also all have more than one body. So apparently when you're born, you're single-bodied, and then your second and third bodies are manufactured and connected to you, like connected to your brain waves. And so there's
So
three.
what, you're like implanted into an avatar kind of thing?
But they don't seem to be, they seem to be organic. Like it's like splitting your consciousness into several bodies.
Kind of like what they do with, and I don't remember, I remember reading the book, but I didn't like it. Kind of like what they do with altered carbon.
No, more like Cylons. Way more like Cylons.
No.
But they're not.
Oh, okay.
They're like organic, but they are manufactured. And then because of that, that's where the gender gets really interesting. Like then it kind of reminds me of, I think it's The Left Hand of Darkness, is the Ursula Le Guin, where they, you know, they're neutral gender until they're in heat, essentially, and then they slide into one gender or another, and it could be, or one sex or another, rather, and it could be either. So it seems like their organs could be, their genitalia could be manufactured and applied for breeding and then removed for everyday life. So, and then they're also in kind of, I don't know, a very sci-fi-y, like hyper connected, like there's a feed all the time. You know, like in the house they're kind of like androids. Like in the house, they could be connected to each of their brains or the visuals of the house. And what they call an agent is like, you know, their Alexa or Siri. So like Swift can like ask their Z or agent questions all the time. It's a lot. It's a lot of complicated ideas.
Yeah, it reminds me of Neuromancer, where he just drops you in the sprawl and you're just sort of like, what the heck is happening here? So.
Hi, Thrifty Simplicity. You tell us what you're reading. We are reading, well, you're reading only one book right now, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I switched. I was reading At the Existentialist Cafe and now Parable of the Sower. Sower.
And I'm trying mostly to read A Long Way Gone by Ishmael Bey. I know my golden light makes it hard to actually see anything. And then I don't know if this will show up at all. Maybe if I put the light way up. Oh yeah, that should show up.
It usually does.
This is the black and white version of the cover for the unraveling. It's, I think that might be like all the parents and all their brains connected. It's so much. I'm okay with it. But I think I'm going to go back to A Long Way Gone. Don't termites like swarm and then stop? So they're not going to keep going.
No, they'll probably stop about 10-ish.
But like I don't see them under the street lamp, so I think they're gone.
Then they're probably done swarming where you are.
Yeah. So I don't think I have to worry about that. So I can stick to this one for tonight.
Yeah.
So Thrifty Simplicity. I'm finishing The Girl in the Spider's Web. Then next I'm reading The Digital Fortress. That sounds like it could be like some awesome fantasy adventure, or like totally a nonfiction textbook. I don't know what The Digital Fortress is. I'm up for both. I'm definitely up for both. Yeah. And is The Girl in the Spider's Web part of the, the Dragon Tattoo Cycle series, whatever that was?
I don't know. It sounds like it.
I don't know if it's because I'm tired or this is just really boring right now because not much is happening. I'm going to assume you mean in Harry Potter and not with Allie and I because, like, this is par for the course for us.
It's kind of on the, if you're talking about us, I would say it is a little bit more on the boring end for us.
Okay.
But
because we were tired.
I'm not hurt by that comment. I'm not hurt by that comment. It's a Monday.
Yes.
Oh, we were right. It is part.
I think I must have just heard it or seen it in bookstores or something. And yes,
I think I read the first
thank you, yes.
I think I read the first two of those, but I never read the last or the fourth. I don't know. Okay.
No joke. I just saw the original movie version. I couldn't be bothered with the English version. I'm glad I saw the movie version though, because that actress apparently belongs to Netflix now, and I don't know. It's just kind of cool to see like where she came, like why she matters. Why she came out of nowhere, and she's been in like 5 or 6 Netflix films.
Numi.
But it wasn't nowhere. It wasn't nowhere. It was from an adaptation of a bestseller. So
Numi. I think her name is. I know her first name is Numi. Rapace.
Wow. I mean, like she's just an action franchise chick, which is cool.
Yeah.
I think my favorite that was like a horror movie was What Happened to Monday. But I did also like Bright. I know people didn't like that movie, but I thought that movie was awesome.
I don't think I've seen either one. The Mentors. I struggle with Harry Potter. I struggle with it.
I think Jess is like just about to where I gave up, so more power to ya. Oh no, you're in number 3, Jess. It was halfway through 4 that I gave up. I'm trying to make this series last, so I'm skipping another new book. There's 2 books left. Skipping to another new book. So I think I got this right. So Thrifty is also reading more than one book tonight, is what I'm assuming.
It's good to know that most people have more than one that they're going through.
Oh yeah. I just read the Dementor chapter today, and I'm on the chapter after it. Yeah, so the Dementors first show up in you say the name of the book. They're packed, so I can't look at mine on the shelf and pretend I remember what order they're in.
Order of the Phoenix.
But I think that's the 3rd one. The 4th one's a monster, and the Dementors are already involved. That's the Dementor chapter. It can't be Jess is about to tell us.
Books.
No,
6
9 series. It's 6 books. Jess knows everything.
Yeah.
Sorry about the cat. I really don't know what his problem is, but it could be. It could be. I do know what his problem is. I'll tell you in a second.
What is P? Oh, Prisoner of Azkaban is when they first appear.
That's number 2.
That's number 3.
Oh.
I think Order of the Phoenix is number 4.
Okay, there we go. So I was right the first time, and then I overthunk myself, as one does. So I think I do know why Son wants all the attention.
Did you give him his CBD?
Oh, I don't give him that till I'm going to bed.
Okay.
And lately, it actually isn't working. Like he's adjusted to it. So now I've been giving it to him at 4 a.m. when he wakes me up, so that he'll let me sleep for another 3 hours. He's a jerk. But because of A, the roaches, and B, the cat who can't have Son's food. So this kitty, this good, quiet kitty, can't eat regular cat food anymore. But he's been trying, so I've been putting up their cat bowls so they can't graze.
Oh.
He's not used to eating all his food in one sitting. Yeah. So he is kind of like, I would
my food away.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think during our next sprint, I think I will be away from camera a little bit to feed them. Oh my goodness, we were just wrong. Order of the Phoenix is number 5.
What's number 4?
Goblet of Fire. Just knows everything.
Okay. That's the one where they do the competition.
I've been saying your name wrong all night just because I'm slightly dyslexic. It's Jessa. I'm so sorry. Yes, I have a few chapters left of The Girl in the Spider's Web. Instead of going on to the next book, I'm starting a different book. I really like the series. I want to make it last a bit longer, so I'm hoping to read something else since I only have 2 books left. Yeah,
I do
that's
that.
often.
Yeah.
I'm less likely to do it with books than I am, because I'll reread, you know, but with that, you only get the first time, one time feeling. That's often why I will like leave the last 2 or 3 episodes of a TV show for years. I still haven't watched the last episode of Penny Dreadful.
I don't do that with shows. I want to binge them, but I do that with books. I think that's why I never finished Wayward Son, is I thought that was going to be the end. And I was like, no, I'm just going to wait.
No, I mean, I'll get distracted with newly published books. Like I never finished the Bone Street Rumba series either, but mainly because he wasn't done writing it when I was obsessed with it. It's okay. I've been called
It's
Jessica,
done
and someone has
now.
2 S's. I know, but I've been doing other things. I'll do it. Thank you, Jessa, for your kindness and patience. It's a lovely quality. Yeah, no, it'll go back on the list. Although I keep thinking of more homework challenges, like I don't know, I'll probably put a vote up later in the year for anyone who cares about, you know, my homework projects. But I'm interested in doing other countries or other continents rather, but there is no other continent that is as close to equaling a year as the African one. So I don't know. There's another one. There's another homework challenge I want to do that's not about geography at all, and it's reading a lot about information technology, like reading about Ada Lovelace and Turing and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't want it to end.
50 knows.
So hard. It's so hard, especially like, you know, especially like for a while after you finish the thing that's your thing. Nothing can compare.
Nope. Just not as good.
I think, yeah, one of the worst book hangovers I had was reading a Holly Black trilogy in 2 days. The White Cat, Red Glove.
Which
can't remember
one?
the part. The Curse Workers series, I think.
I tried the who?
The Curse Workers, I think, from Holly Black.
It's
okay. I was just in the mood for them.
I had tried to read the, what was it, the Elf series.
By Holly Black?
Yeah. Someone, you and Tim keep recommending The Coldest Girl.
Yeah.
It's like vampire. The cruelest something and
the coolest girl in Cold
Isn't she the one who? Yeah, I don't like that. But the one that you and Tim keep. Yes, that's the one you keep recommending.
But you're right. There is another book.
You and Tim have recommended it.
So there's one that has a similar title. You're right. And I thought they were a series, but one of them might be an elf book and the other is a vampire book. And I think I'm not alone in just being sort of constantly heartbroken that that's not a series.
Uh-huh.
So. All right. Well, since we are on the boringer side tonight, we could and should read I'm gonna say this is our last sprint, and I'm gonna say half an hour. And I think that despite what all of us may want, I think that this is actually what we need in our brains and our lives. And, you know, we may all read on our own after this, but I think our focus has about 30 minutes left. All right. And then, yeah, we'll chat a little bit at the end. Again, we have a vote of confidence.
Okay.
Confidence is good. Okay. So, yeah, we'll chat a little and be done by 10-ish probably. Okay.
Yes.
Enjoy your reading. Make it your best.
Yes.
So, how was the last sprint?
Not that great.
I switched to yet another book on audio this time. I did all the kinds of books. I switched to The Old Drift. Let me find the author. By Namali Serpell.
Oops. You can kind of see. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Is that part of your Africa challenge?
It is. There's a couple that are actually on overdrive, which is, you know, a good sign. There's a few books that are
No bite.
modern and well regarded. A lot of the other ones I'm finding are, you know, very, very old. So it makes sense when very, very old books that aren't considered part of the classic canon don't have an audio version. Anyway, how'd everybody else do? I do want to apologize again for stepping away so far from the computer. You know, just while I'm streaming, I like to keep it plugged in, and I had to go into my bathroom and lock 2 cats out to feed the other cat. So, but yeah, so the content from that poster was welcome, but I don't think that name fits our community guidelines. Not exactly family friendly, so we welcome you if you are able to change that username to something a first grader could read and not ask their mom about. I think that's a fair guideline.
Yeah.
Let's see. David asks, did we respond to the comments about what I was reading already? Yes, David, we were sort of impressed that you got a free book today and that you were responding really quickly to your circumstances, that, something happened and it spurred you to action is pretty cool. It's pretty cool to get free books and to enjoy them. And thanks for double checking. And I'm down to 1 chapter left in my book. Thrifty, I hope that you can finish reading it tonight, because it's hard to be at that 1 chapter mark, or the 10 pages mark, and you have to start doing something else, like getting ready for work or something. I hate that.
Yep. Why is your ear wet? Sorry, excuse me. My cat and I are apparently doing grooming practices right now. Not appropriate, Tobin. Not appropriate.
Well,
I forgot I was on camera.
They do that. They do that from time to time. So, thank you so much for hosting. Thank you for coming. You both. That's to you as well, Allie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we enjoy it, and we've only taken some time off when, some life happened, some big life happened.
Yeah.
But we like to be here.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and schedule next week's sprint tomorrow during the day, so that and I'm pretty sure if I make it like a premiere or something, or maybe if it's just on my channel, people might be able to find it and share it in advance if you want to. It was really 11th hour today. Allie and I knew we were going to do it, but I didn't schedule it till like 4 o'clock. So
yeah.
Thrifty said, thanks for the sprint. Thank you for coming. It's always great to have, new friends in the chat. And we like our old friends too. Thank you so much to Jessa and David. And yeah. Well, I think that we're ending on a good note tonight. And yeah, we'll be back again next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.